unworldly noises, strange creatures, evil spirits, even gnomes. All of these things have been reported in one small place outside of Menomonie, Wisconsin. It's called the Devil's Punch Bowl. And that's tonight on Wisconsin Unexplained. The Devil's Punch Bowl is a geological phenomenon created by the effects of erosion. Being a safe haven for all manner of plants and animals, as well as a fascinating place for rock and clay formations, the Devil's Punch Bowl is a serene yet eerie atmosphere. One that even the most mundane imagination can run wild in. But is it all just imagination? These slippery, worn-out stone steps are how people used to get down into the punch bowl. Luckily, they've now crafted a wooden walkway to make sure nobody slips and falls. It's from here that you can see the river cutting deep into the rock, which formed the Devil's Punch Bowl. It's also here where most people see their gnome sightings. According to numerous witnesses, these 2 to 3 feet tall men stand at the top of the waterfall and look down at those enjoying the punch bowl below. It seems that they are watching them, as if to guard the punch bowl from their presence. When spotted, the gnomes have been known to dash into the cracks and caverns that riddle the sides of the punch bowl. It is said that water from this waterfall will never get warm. People have collected it in jars and set it on their counters during the summer heat. Weeks later, it was just as cold as the day they pulled it from the rock.
So this is the infamous Devil's Punch Bowl. I was with my dad. This was maybe a few years ago now, but this has changed a little bit, but it has changed a lot. Okay, that's the work still. So before, we're in this area before they built this nice little staircase here. It was all with like broken concrete and everything. It kind of like blocked off. Weren't really supposed to go down there, but we're kind of rebels. We did anyway. But anyway, so down here, there's this graffiti tunnel, and we were just out like exploring and stuff, and it was really weird, you know, because you kind of sense right now it's like a little odd feeling, you know, like it feels like it's a little tense per se. So if you get a little closer and do some exploring through this tunnel here, you'll find some interesting stuff. Want to be a little careful though, because it's a long ways down. Yeah. See if I can still hear.
If you could raise your volume, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's still here, but I'm pretty sure. Again, this was like a few years ago. But there's this devil's mark that was painted like right around here. It's covered up now though. Like right behind this right here, there's this like pentagram looking thing. It's that like Hail Satan and all this kind of stuff, creepy stuff, right? And it's still underneath it, so who knows? But anyway, as soon as you pass this mark, silence. It feels like being watched, you know? It's creepy.
It is odd that there aren't any animal sounds right here.
Yeah.
Like, you hear them on the other side, but you don't hear them right here. It's like an old feed trough.
Yeah. Why would that even be over here? That man, it's weird. Weird. Yeah. I've heard all sorts of weird stories too. Like, I guess there's this one kid that went to that ledge that where we saw earlier, where we dropped far drop. He fell back and fell to his death, I guess. And yeah, it's weird stuff. I think that there's something eerie here, definitely. That I don't know. It's creepy. It's uneasy. But then if we go back through the other way, you'll see how dramatically it changes.
What?
Nice. It says, inhale the good shit, exhale the bullshit. Words to live by. When we come back over here, it just feels like peaceful, you know? And like, definitely hear more animals. Now I don't know for sure if this was the spot where that kid fell to his death, or if it was up a little ways, but it's definitely somewhere around this area, I think. Yeah. Tragic.
While graffiti does mark the man-made structures, most of the park is as nature intended. The tall grass at the entrance looks pretty much the way it did 100 years ago. Adding to the supernatural feeling, some of the trees have grown long roots to reach down into the punch bowl. This is most likely due to erosion. As the punch bowl eroded, the tree kept growing, stretching its roots deeper and deeper, looking for soil.
Can we go like right here since it was like right there?
Yes, of course, that'd be great.
Okay, so we were just like down here with a couple of our friends at like 2 in the morning, and we were just talking or whatever, and then like over in the distance we just like kept hearing voices, and like, oh no, there's probably other people here. So then we like went and walked around, and like no one was there, and then we like wherever we'd go, like we'd hear voices like behind us or like in the distance from us. So it was pretty creepy.
And then we were probably laying there for another 15 minutes. We're like, we'll just stay here for a little longer. But then a tree like right by us like just fell right on us. So
Yeah, it was so close to us, and we were like, okay, we gotta get out of here. So we like ran back. So we weren't here for that long, but it freaked us out. And we were like talking about it, and like there's definitely something that people say, and I knew it was like gnomes or something. Right. I was like, it's something like out of the ordinary, not like some like white figure or something. It's like gnomes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just pretty much like laying just like down in that area, and then we could hear voices like over there, and then we like walked over there, and then we heard voices like over here. It's like wherever we go, like we heard them behind us.
So my name is Chris Weiner. I'm a paranormal investigator here in western Wisconsin. I run the Chippewa Valley Paranormal Investigators. We're here at the Devil's Punch Bowl, which is reportedly one of the more haunted spots here outside of Menomonie. There are a lot of stories that I've been told about the Punch Bowl, and even had an experience myself here. It is quite an interesting place, as you'll find out. All right, let's go. A lot of stories about this area say that there are a lot of natural elements, and natural elements bring about stories of elementals like dwarves, or brownies, or fairies, gnomes, stuff like that. People say oftentimes they'll see gnomes walking along the ridge line here. Sometimes people say they've seen orbs like fly through that parking area, and have actually stated that they saw the gnome, like, or not the gnome, I'm sorry, the orb fly through their vehicle, like right past their face, and like would go in their vehicle and right back out of their vehicle as they sat there. I also was told a story of somebody down here in the ravine. As they were down there, a fog had rolled in, and they were further down the ravine than right down in the punch bowl. They were further down, and this fog rolled in, and all of a sudden they started seeing lights dance all around them. They tried to get out, but they got lost in the fog, and so they finally found the other staircase over there and made their way out. And they haven't been back to the punch bowl since. So we were here one evening toward dusk, and as we were standing down here, we heard something rustling up at the top. As we were looking, there seemed to be something moving up there, but as you can see, the rock is quite difficult to climb, and to get up there quickly was not going to happen. So we were unable to identify whatever it was that was up there. Some of my team that was here at the time were questioning whether or not it was one of the gnomes that are said to be out here, because whoever it was didn't say anything or make any noise other than the rustling of the leaves and twigs as they went along the ridge line up there. And unfortunately, we never did find out exactly what or who it was that was up there at that time. Barely a trickle over there now. Usually this whole, I mean, you can tell where the indention is. Usually there's water through here, but you would think with all the rain that we've gotten here recently, the snow, that there'd be a lot more water through here. So actually we should do it over here in the, but we might just, I'm trying to figure out the best way down this hill here, probably down this way, so we don't fall on our face or have to crunch. Deep, but there'd be water here. This is actually fairly new chicken wire, or not chicken wire, but barbed wire. I wonder why they put that up. It keeps getting taken down though, because when we were out here, this chicken wire wasn't out here, or not chicken wire, the chicken wire posts were out here, but this barbed wire fence wasn't out here. And it's not rusty, so this is fairly new. This is actually where we found our temperature variance that day. We came down here, we had an infrared thermometer, and it read about 10 degrees lower right in this area as compared to the rest of the ravine or bowl down here. Reasons as to why the temperature change, I don't know. Could have been just combination of the water and the wind that came through here at the time, dropping the temperature a little bit. It did come back up shortly thereafter, so the actual reason for that temperature change is unknown. We didn't get any other hits on EMF or anything at the same time, which may have said, that we had some type of paranormal activity at that time, but there was definitely a temperature change right here. And some college kids came along and cut this wire so they could go further down. But my question is, why, the poles have been here for a while. Why did they put barbed wire back up here again? I wonder if, why would you keep animals from trying to get through here? Probably just try to keep college students or whoever else comes down here from going further down the way. Trick is not to poke yourself with the barbed wire as you're looking at it. Now that you mention it, it is kind of odd the way this is kind of tied up here. Obviously someone cut it to get access, but then why it got brought over here, and maybe just to keep themselves from brushing against it. Almost looks kind of Blair Witch-like if you look at it. That definitely shows forethought, though. That wasn't an animal that tore this down, because it had to have been tied like that deliberately. Either nothing artificial about that. That's a very clean cut. Oh, yeah, actually that's some heavy duty cable there. Holy cow. Yeah, that's like that's like in the rock now. It's like part of the moss has grown up over it, and it's not sitting there freely anymore. Well, that's not actually rock either. That's ground. There's part of the tree root right there. So that's been eroded over and grown into the ground. That's been there quite some time. Unfortunately, like I said, my own personal, that one with the people up there or whatever it was up there was pretty much it. And then a couple stories that I was told that, again, kind of shadowed the same stories that everybody's been told or are telling about the punch bowl. So it's kind of nothing really cool, nothing exorcist-like or anything else really supernatural. It's unfortunate, but I think that it's just people telling stories to get a rise out of each other, or rise out of each other while they're down here. And there is something very serene about the punch bowl. I mean, you can hear the water going by, and there's just a really calming energy down here. I guess that energy becomes completely different once you get a few drinks and a few 8 balls in you or something, I don't know. But a fine. The spot where we got the EMF meter is actually underneath this bridge, or this set of stairs. You have the ability to swing around because there's another staircase right there that looked like the staircase that was here. So right around here is where my daughter was playing with the electromagnetic field detector, or the EMF detector as the case may be. And as she was coming around here, she picked up a strong 1.5 milligauss on the EMF meter, which is quite unusual because there is no electricity to be found anywhere around here. No power lines, no nothing. So the fact that she found it here was very, very strange. And it wasn't like it was fleeting. It was steady for about a minute and a half until finally it did end up going away, which kind of says it wasn't like something magnetic in the rocks. There was no iron in here that was causing that to happen. There was definitely something that was here fleeting for just those few moments. But as you can see, I'm sitting here where it looks like natural rock was carved out so that people could come down into the valley here and check things out. I would imagine just by the erosion on the rocks and everything, this was, probably where the Chippewa Indians originally came down here, or maybe even Captain Black himself found his way down into the gorge. I mean, you can shoot that stairs right there. Punch bowl. That does look like something out of a bad freaking horror movie, though. So this is actually the staircase that leads to a trail that goes completely around the Devil's Punch Bowl here, where we saw the gnomes or dwarves that were walking along the ridge line. This path goes all the way around and then comes back again, so that people have access to see down into the beauty that is the punch bowl itself. It's also very similar to the staircase that was over there where my daughter found the EMF readings, as opposed to the new convenient wooden staircase that they just put in. If you look over here, there's just a little bit of that concrete stair left of where my daughter found that. It's actually, actually, I think up there it's actually just part of the post that they're putting into. But this actually looks like part of the stair, so there's no post to be found right here. That's where, just a little bit further down, which is where she would have had that EMF hit.
These are 2 samples of water. The smaller one I gathered from the Devil's Punch Bowl. The waterfall from the Devil's Punch Bowl. This one from a well. Ordinary tap water. For the last 4 days I've been measuring the temperature of these 2 jars to see whether or not the legend that this would be forever cold was true. Unfortunately, it is not. These 2 jars are the exact same temperature. While many people have come forward to say that they have seen something, or say that someone they know has seen something, very few of them, almost none in comparison, have wanted to record their experience on video. This suggests that perhaps everything we've seen today is just another urban legend. However, when I was gathering this sample, the water was extremely cold. So cold, I had to move it from hand to hand to keep from going numb. While I was bringing it up from the bottom of the bowl, I felt very fatigued. My back started aching, and something really wanted me to drop this over the railing as I walked. Could be an evil spirit, a specter, or perhaps just my own imagination. But one thing is certain. After I brought this home, condensation formed on the outside of the glass for the next 2 days. The well water? Only 1. Is there some evil force at work here? Perhaps a not evil, but supernatural force nonetheless? Perhaps even some unexplained mineral or other trace element in the water that keeps it cool. Thank you for joining us on Wisconsin Unexplained.